Hi, Hoda. My name is Ellen. I'll be looking at this essay with you today. Let's take a look at what you did. Interest in Airbnb by age group. Okay, fine. The bar chart displays data about percentages of age groups who are interested in the services provided by Airbnb in 2014. The graph clearly shows a different interest from the age of 16 until 64. Okay. As presented in the chart, we can see that by far, comma, the age group between 25 and 34 years is, because it's the age group, is the most interested in Airbnb. Okay, here you've got some awkwardness. So the age group between 25 and 34 years is the most interested in Airbnb at 55. You don't need to say reaching up to because there's no motion here. There's no action. Okay. It's just like a snapshot of some figures at that time. So no motion, no verbs of motion here. Just at would have been perfect here. In contrast, the least interested category, look at this category singular is ages uh, ranging from 55 to 64 years, as it, no is, only accounted for 28%. Okay, so you talked about the top, you talked about the bottom. Let's see what else you did. As illustrated, there is a small difference in percentages across groups less than 44 years. Okay. On the other hand, the changes in groups age 35 or more are significant. For instance, with a CE, only 28% are looking for Airbnb activities in age 55-64 compared to 49% in 35 to okay. This paragraph confused me, so I really do want to look at it again, but this time with the actual image. It's short. It's 134 words. So you may or may not know that IELTS no longer penalizes you for having an underlength uh, writing assignment. So what used to happen is, let's say you wrote something that was 140 words. It probably wouldn't do well in task achievement because there's really not a lot of information there. But then on top of that, IELTS would have taken away a further band score because it's under length. They've stopped doing that because it's unfair to double penalize somebody. That being said, at 100 and what did I say? 43 words, 134. I think I said 134. At 134 words, this is really very short, and so it would not do well in task achievement. Now, I understand that this is a really simplistic diagram. These happen every so often in IELTS, not too often, but every now and then they happen. And I always find that when they do, they are the ones that students always have the most trouble with because they're so used to synthesizing and condensing a great amount of information that when they get something that has very little information, they really don't know what to do with it. And that's, for me, what happened here. You did too much grouping, and so you missed an opportunity to extend and to really, give some more detailed information about this. So as far as your paragraphs are concerned, I had some issues. Okay, as I said, definitely had an issue with this one. I thought it was confusing. Let's see. So let's see what you could have done here. I think one thing you could have, there are a couple of ways you could have divided it. You could have divided it. Honestly, I feel like the most logical place is right here. So talk about these two separately and then talk about these three together. Okay? So how would you do that? You could say that people aged between 16 and 34 accounted for the greatest percentage or proportion of those interested in Airbnb services. This was particularly true with the 25 to 34 age group, which recorded 55% interest in Airbnb. The figure for the younger age group was slightly less at just 52%. Okay, so then, yeah, so clearly above 50% of people under 35 use Airbnb services. Okay, so you can just kind of solidify it really by having like a little conclusive statement there. And then you go on to the next three. And the reason why I do this is because then you can see the numbers start going down, right? So that's why I would have divided it probably, and it would have said that the 35 to 44 age group had just under 50% of its population interested in Airbnb. So clearly, with the older group, popularity is less. Okay, and then you can talk about how these figures then relate to each other. So then you've got 10% less for the following group, and then 10% even further for the next group. So you have to make some connections. You have to maybe throw some things together to see how they relate. But yeah, I felt it needed a little more work. Again, this isn't one of the more common types of topics that has so little information, but I am glad that you attempted it, and we now see where you have an issue with extending. Let's see. I pretty much covered your vocabulary and grammar issues. Oh, another thing that I want to talk to you about was your overview. I wasn't really happy with it just because it didn't really tell us anything meaningful. I can't speak, sorry. The graph clearly shows a different interest from age 16 to that's not helpful. Okay. So it doesn't really tell us anything. Like, obviously, there's going to be some difference. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made a chart about it. So you could have said that it is clear that younger populations used Airbnb more than older populations did. That would have been fine. Okay. Without getting into data, without getting into too much detail, that would have been appropriate. All right. Now I want to take a look at your task 2. It's about global marketing. Let's see what you wrote. It has been universally acknowledged with a D that global marketing is controversial. Careful with your spelling. Without any doubt, society divides into two groups as per distinct mindset. Therefore, this has become a debatable issue. All right, this is not a full sentence, so you have to be really careful with this. Where you start with whether, that's not a full sentence, it's a fragment. You could have said, this has become a debatable issue as to whether to support this due to all the benefits or be against it. Okay? This essay will not only shed light on both perspectives, but also draw my opinion in conclusion. With an A, this isn't helpful when you tell me that you're going to tell me your opinion. They've asked for it. They've asked for it very clearly. And so it's really important that you give it, and that you give it in your introduction. Take a look at the band descriptors under band 7 for task achievement. You'll understand why. You have to present a clear position throughout the response. All right. Now, before even going into the next paragraph, I have to tell you that I'm concerned about this paragraph because it's just as long as your introduction. That for me is a red flag. It tells me that you either were far too wordy with your introduction or you didn't develop your body paragraph enough. Okay, and it looks like the latter is the case because I see here that your task is only 237 words. So again, same thing. This kind of word count, it's going to count against you. Okay, so you have to be a little more wordy. You have to develop a little bit more, and we'll talk about that. So let's see what you wrote. From one side of the argument, people who agree with this statement have many reasons. With which statement? I'm confused because the task actually talks about 2, that it's invasive and intrusive, and others say that it's a wonderful learning tool, etc., etc. So which statement you're referring to, I have no idea. They believe that this is good for the business from, all right, spelling, you can even see Word doesn't like it. Believe, business, financial. So they believe that this is good for the business from a financial point of view. Uh, mm, Maybe you could have had a where here, where you will have more customers and therefore more money, which will lead to more job opportunities. More spelling here with customers and opportunities. Another reason is that it will make our culture in all its aspects more known to the world. Okay, careful with your spelling yet again. All right, so this is super underdeveloped. You have two ideas, but there's absolutely no extension, no examples, nothing. It's just really, really brief. And so that's problematic. Okay, let's keep going. On the other hand, some say, without that S here for says, some say that the disadvantages are more. That is why we are against it. Okay, what is it? I'm very confused. The main reason why is that they, who is they? I don't know, see it as an intrusion. These people claim that it will destroy our habits and they will change our social skills. Last year, a study was done in this field, uh, which showed the huge impact that this worldwide marketing can have. It has an impact on children. The way these children talked or thought were influenced by foreign countries. Okay. In conclusion, both sets of views, S, are valid, but in my opinion, the benefits outweigh. Careful with your spelling. The not harms, the disadvantages, the drawbacks, either one of them would be okay. I strongly believe that we can learn from each other in this globalization, even in marketing will help. Okay, so apart from all the issues that I talked to you about, word choice, vocabulary, spelling, all those things, um, I talked to you about task achievement and how it was a problem here. I also want to talk about just topic development, like how on topic you were, how relevant your ideas were, and so forth. So I think it needed work. I think here, the task asks you some very, very specific questions. They say the task in this one says, is it an economical form of education? Do we learn languages, cultures, and new ideas? All you really talked about was money, all right, in the positive side. So again, not really on topic. It doesn't ask you how it's beneficial in terms of money. In the other paragraph, you're supposed to talk about the invasion and intrusion people feel as a result of international marketing. Um, you said this, but you never really expanded it. So I don't know why it will change our social skills and habits. It was very unclear to me. You have this study here, but you never really say a lot about it. You just say that, oh, there's an impact and the way kids talk were influenced by foreign countries. Okay, great. So how is that intrusive? How is that invasive? How does it do the things that the essay claims that this marketing is doing? So I really felt like you needed to go into go into further detail, absolutely develop more in both paragraphs. Okay, so that's my feedback for you today. I hope you find it helpful. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. But I also want to invite you to sign up for the online course or a package of essay corrections so that we can help you pursue your IELTS goals. Okay, best of luck to you.